Following a comprehensive review, Hyper Acute Stroke services in South Yorkshire and Bassetlaw were transformed in 2019 to ensure that all patients across the region have access to high-quality, urgent stroke specialist care. Patients in the region are now cared for at one of 3 regional hyperacute stroke units for the first few days after their stroke. The units are located at Doncaster Royal Infirmary, the Royal Hallamshire Hospital in Sheffield, and Pinderfields Hospital in Wakefield. This means that wherever you live in the region, you'll be treated at one of these hospitals first before being transferred to your local hospital or discharged home with appropriate community support.
So when we arrive on scene with someone with signs and symptoms suspicious of a stroke, we always act with quite a quick and prompt assessment. So we work through a stroke care bundle. If we suspect someone's having a stroke, we then class that as a time critical emergency, and we're aiming to spend less than 10 minutes on scene with that patient before we start moving to hospital under blue light conditions. So in healthcare, we often have a phrase which we call the right patient in the right place at the right time. So strokes are best dealt with by specialists. Strokes are caused by a lack of blood flow to certain areas of the brain. The importance is restoring flow to that area of the brain so we can prevent any further damage being done. So as a paramedic, my main goal is always patient care. So by being able to take patients to high acuity stroke units, we're able to deliver those stroke patients to the stroke specialists as soon as possible, bypassing the previous pathway that used to be in place. They're able to offer advice or recommendations, and on occasion we're able to start that stroke treatment in the back of ambulances or in patients' homes. So compared to the previous pathways that were in place, with the high acuity stroke unit, we're able to get that patient to the scanner quicker and to the specialist teams quicker as well.
So the role of the stroke team is to assess all patients with suspected stroke. Nurse role is to triage patients' importance of priority. If the patients are within time frame to receive thrombolysis and thrombectomy, we need to see those patients first. We need to get them to the CT scan. We need to make sure that they've had bloods, they've got cannulas in, and they received the thrombolysis treatment as soon as possible, because that improves the patient outcome.
HASU care is the first 72 hours of the patient's journey. That's when we do all the initial tests, get them stabilised, get their initial assessments done, and set them on the road to recovery, either at home or, if they need it, at their local hospital. Being cared for on a HASU means you're more likely to survive and more likely to regain your independence. Larger HASUs are able to offer better treatment to patients and offer treatment throughout the week, which smaller units aren't able to do. In our new model, anyone in South Yorkshire and Bassetlaw will come to one of 3 HASUs, either Doncaster Royal Infirmary, Pinderfields Hospital or the Royal Hallamshire Hospital. After their first 3 days, if they're ready to go home, they'll go home and receive further support at home if needed. And if they need longer to recover in hospital, they'll go back to their local unit in Barnsley or Rotherham if that's where they're from, or stay in their locality. Working as a network means we can support one another and help spread best practice to continue to improve care for our patients.
We're a specialist multidisciplinary team who provide assessments over 7 days to ensure our patients' needs are assessed quickly and we can determine where's best to meet their needs. We ideally aim for home first or care as close to home as possible once we've met their specialist hyperacute care needs. Regionally, we've worked really strongly to make sure that we know our regional colleagues and we understand our services across the pathway, and I think that's been key to making sure our patients are assessed and moved to the right place at the right time.
As a community working in the South Yorkshire and Bassetlaw region, it's provided more opportunities to talk to colleagues outside of your area, which didn't happen before, and I think for me that's been the most positive outcome of working in the new HASU model. From patients that I've treated so far, they're not too concerned about having to travel out of their area to get their hyperacute services, and they understand that they're getting that specialist care.
Rebuilding life after stroke is a real team effort. Working in partnership across the stroke pathway has such significant benefits for stroke survivors. They can move seamlessly from one service to another and really not have any gaps in that care. The new Stroke service pathway and the standardisation of care has been really important in helping to save lives. Having access to that 24/7 care and immediate expertise is really important. Stroke survivors are reporting better outcomes and are feeling more supported, and that's just all part of what we want to do in rebuilding somebody's life after having a stroke.
When I had my stroke, I knew nothing, I couldn't say anything, and I had no confidence. I really appreciate being able to look after myself. It gave me confidence to talk to my friends and my family.
Since 2019, our regional stroke pathway has been able to provide crucial specialist stroke care 24/7 to deliver the very best patient care. Receiving urgent stroke care within the first 72 hours of having a stroke is vital for patients to survive and thrive. By involving the NHS, regional care partners, stroke specialists and patients in the pathway development, we ensure effective, timely and appropriate stroke care when it's needed most.